87 season. Without their cooperation, we would not be able to bring you Westmar football, so stop in and tell the leader thank you. Steel City. And now, for the play-by-play, here's Denny Callahan.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds. Can get nasty again. This team's coming off a 2-game losing streak. They've kind of lost sight of their preseason goals. They certainly got to get back in that road of destiny again. And I think Concordia is going to be the beneficiary of some nasty football here today. This team's got to get feisty again, and that's kind of been their mood through practice this week, is to kind of get surly again.
Well, this is the week to do it, I guess, after a couple of tough losses and two that they could have just as well won as lost. And you're right, boy, they can't have any mental letdowns, and you got to get it going now. There's still a lot of season ahead, and they got a week off next week, so this would sure be an ideal week to get something started.
Couldn't ask for a better football day. We're going to have the national anthem and then on to football here this afternoon. I guess number one item we ought to talk about is the wind here. It's going to be a factor again this afternoon. Just kind of watching the flag there during the playing of the national anthem, and it's kind of an ever-changing wind. They always talk about a Wrigley Field. This one's, well, during the course of the national anthem, started out of the west, went to the southwest, and into the south, and then back to the west again. So it's going to be a wind that you're going to want to keep track of today when you're punting and passing.
Well, that's right, Danny, and it's coming right into our face now, so it's kind of out of the south. That's what the weatherman says it's supposed to do, and that's a little better wind for this stadium. There are some trees and houses to the south, so normally a south wind doesn't affect it, as we've seen with the north winds that can come down through here northwest. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure we'll see the punts hanging a little bit or blowing and wobbling, and the ball has to be up in the air a little higher, I think, to get the wind today.
Well, this is a ball club that I guess you didn't have the opportunity to play against. This is Concordia Comets are out of the old Tri-State League back in the 60s and 70s. The series was discontinued in 1974 when the old Tri-State Conference folded up. Bethel and Concordia were in that conference with Yankton and Sioux Falls and Northwestern and Westmar. And was resumed again last year. 35-18, Westmar won it up in the Twin Cities, and I don't know how much longer the contract goes, but it's going to be a good football matchup for these two, because I think it's two schools that are on the kind of the same plane, trying to rebuild football fortunes. Both teams come in at 2-2 today. We've got a team that wants to go over the ground, another one that wants to go through the air, and we're going to see the football in the air a little bit this afternoon from Concordia.
Well, and that's fun to watch, and I guess we've seen that before already this year with the good Dana team, and it is a good matchup. There's some distance to travel for the two schools, but we don't need to be playing nationally ranked teams every week, so it's an ideal matchup for Westmar to have on their schedule, and it's anxious to see what these 33 Concordia players can come up with here today.
Yeah, it's not a real big squad number-wise. They've got some good-sized people. 18 lettermen back, 11 starters out of the 22, 7 on offense. And they've got a quarterback that ranks nationally in passing in this Jim Rebelke. He was kind of brought out of the coaching ranks to play quarterback. He's an older kid at 22, just a sophomore. The kickoff is short, taken at the 15 by Kelvin Pierce. Back across the 30, cuts back across the green and out over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. And that's where we put her into play here this afternoon. Good to have you with us on Cable Channel 20 Just a brilliant sunny afternoon, and a little cool, I guess, for the fans, but they've come dressed for it, and I guess it's early October. You expect a little chill in the air.
Well, it's a nice day. We're cold because we're in the shade up here, and the wind hits us. So down on the stands, there's a nice warm sun, and couldn't pick a better day to play football.
Well, one change offensively. We got Wayne Spearing at center, regular center. Larson is out of there with a bad knee. He won't play today. Byron Bowling moves out to tackle. Kelvin Pearson the dive out over the 40 to about the 43-yard line. That'll be good for about 6 yards. Westmar was planning on a dive. I guess scouting report said they were going to come in a 44, but they gave me a 52 defense when I called up there this week. So Coach Mazel was going to check it out for sure, and he ran the dive as he said he would.
That's right. They're in a 44 right now, and they're going to go right up the middle. That's normally the weak spot. Test their linebackers out.
Second down at about 4 to go from the Westmar 42-yard line. Going to give again to Charles Hill up the middle this time, and Hill out over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. That'll be good for 4 more, and it's close to a first down. They may want to bring the sticks out to measure. Concordia up front, so we kind of check their defense and their size. You get Todd Beck at 200 pounds on one end, Flandrick at 210, Malcolm at 240. Ted Inns, who's a two-way starter in this ballgame today. He's going to be going on both sides of the football. He's 220 pounds, so they got some size in there. And then they got a guy in the wings, Tom Higgins, who weighs about 245 pounds. Going to stretch the chain. And it is going to be short by just inches, it looks like. And Westmar's going to be faced with a 4th down. No, it'll be 3rd down against
Third down, yeah.
A couple of plays, so 3rd down in inches. Ideal situation for the offense.
Oh, you bet. That's basically 5 yards of carry, and gives them a nice short 3rd down here. And against that 44, they should be able to pick it up. They might switch out of that.
Just underway, and 14:04 to go in the first quarter. No score yet. Westmar on their initial drive. Over on defense, Dan Oswald won't be in uniform today. He's going to be out for a week. He's got some neck problems, and they're doing a little more extensive look into his problems, and could be a career-ending type injury. We hope for the best for Dan Oswald. Certainly some prayers would be in order there. They revealed kind of a serious spinal condition that Dan Oswald is going to be forced to the sidelines with here for a while anyway. Quarterback sneak by McClintock, and he's going to go for the first down yardage. And Westmar on the initial drive on the move in the right direction, heading west here at the Lamar's Community Stadium. Good homecoming crowd. And O'Brien, you being a graduate of Westmar, always fun to see the alums back. And I know for me, I've been here now long enough since '73 that it's fun for me because I see a lot of people that I've got acquainted with through sports and through the association with the college. Just fun to see all old friends here.
Oh, you bet it is. And I've been talking with some, and a lot of them here watching.
1st and 10, quick pitch. Kelvin Pierce, 50, 45, up to across the 40 and inside the 40 to about the 35-yard line. Got to be enough for another first down. Well, that one didn't have that much written on it, but a nice 2nd and 3rd effort by Kelvin Pierce.
And that's that little weak side quick pitch that I see every week, or at least when I'm watching them. And I love that play, and it's the one that I would sure write in my offense. And Westmar executes it well. They seem to get that corner normally on the weak side. They get a little, maybe put them extra or pull a man over there, but they get that man around the corner so well. Really executed. Big pickup.
About 14 yards and first down at the 38. There's the give to Charles Hill. Breaks the tackle. Now another tackle. Gets outside. 30, 25, 20, 15. Down to about the 11-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle going to be made for the Comets from the secondary by Tracy Harrell, a sophomore out of Ocala, Florida. Well, there's Charles Hill running that individual effort. Good for about 27, 28 yards, and we, I guess, have gotten to the point we expect that out of Charles.
That's right. He did a great job. He really followed his blockers. One big holdup he had 10 yards downfield, he had to break free from his own man, so he had linemen downfield really doing the job.
Westmar getting out of the blocks just like they wanted to. A nice time-consuming drive and dealing out a message that they're going to be here to play football for 4 quarters today. Quick pitch. Kelvin Pierce looks for the block. He's inside the 10 and down to about the 6-yard line. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 or 6 to go yet for the first down with 13-17 to go in the opening quarter. Football action being brought to you today by the leader, by the Lamar's Beauty College, Plymouth Plumbing and Heating, Augie's, Susie's Deli, Hopkins Drug, and Stevens Cleaners. Kelly McClintock sets him down. There's the give straight ahead on the dive to Pearson. He'll be into about the 1-yard line. That's going to be close to first down yardage. Either be third and very short or first and goal. Looks like they're still short by maybe a half yard, Browning.
Yeah, it's awful close down there. And again, a third and short situation, running the ball. That's what you like to have. And the offensive line's doing a great job here, Denny. They're getting positive yards every carry and a couple big runs, and they really look sharp right here.
Ball on the 2-yard line, third down, and a good yard to go yet for the first down, but you're in 4-down territory. They have 2 cracks to get the first down and the touchdown here. Straight ahead, Charles Hill going to plow to probably first down, touchdown. Gets on into the end zone, just took the mass with him, and they went right behind that left side of Byron Bowling and Tim Pauley, and on into the end zone for Hill. His 3rd touchdown of this 1987 season on the ground, his 4th overall. Remember, he caught that touchdown pass in the opener, and the Eagles break out on top, 6-0 here this afternoon with 12-11 to go in the first quarter.
Number 15, Mike Morey, is in for the PAT.
Mike Morey going to try the PAT. So far this year, 6 of 8 in conversions, and Joey Holmberg trying to hold for placement. Snap, the kick, it's going to be through there. And Westmar jumps in front, 7-0 here this afternoon. The drive was a 7-play drive. Started from their own 37, so that'd make it about a 63-yard drive in 7 plays. Good opening start here this afternoon.
Well, it sure was, Denny, and I guess the impressive thing was they did it all on the ground. I don't think they had any, maybe down here at the end they had a 2-yard pickup, but boy, impressive. Had a couple big gainers and just a beautiful drive. Coach has got to love that.
That is Joyce Hummer, number 3 from St. Paul, Minnesota. Marcus Hancher is number 2.
Here's Jim McPartland kicking off, following the touchdown. Oh, he got it up into the wind. It's going to be short but high. It's going to be grabbed by the Comets' number 40, John Schmidt. And not much of a return, but that was just about like a punt, Brownie.
That's right, the thing really hung up, and if it hung up much longer, it would have been like an onside kick. And that's free ball. Anybody can get it after 10 yards, so they had a good coverage on, though. He didn't get any more positive yards.
Going to take over at about the 33-yard line. Again, the Comets are quarterbacked by the older than most college sophomores, Jim Rebelke, 22 years old. Actually had been coaching when he got talked into coming back to school. He's a native St. Paulan, and he and Joey Holmberg play a little baseball, some Legion ball together up in St. Paul. Back to pass. I guess this isn't too surprising. Pass is going to be out there to Lindahl, and Lindahl is going to, or excuse me, Dean Mills, it is, the tight end out there to make the catch. 200-pound freshman, but they're going to rule him out of bounds, did I see? Incomplete, I believe. They're going to come back to the line of scrimmage. Juggled it out of bounds, I believe, and never did make the catch. Well, Westmar, with Dan Oswald out of the lineup, has had to move Dan Krotzel into the nose tackle. Wayne Udick and Chad Shook are the tackles in. Mike Rogers and Mark McLeod are the defensive ends. Robert Johnson, Kurt Westhoff are the linebackers. Joe Holmberg, Scott Seeloff, Marcus Hancher, and Frenchie Holmberg in the secondary. Frenchie and Joe Holmberg, of course, are out of St. Paul, where Concordia is based, so it's kind of a big game for them. 2nd down and 10, and they're going to give to the fullback, John Schmidt, and Schmidt going to be nailed by Robert Johnson, and Marcus Hancher, number 2, up from the secondary to make the hit. Got about a half a yard if that. And there was some pretty good hitting. I watched this defense in practice. They had a few skirmishes on the field, and that's always a healthy sign. The defense has kind of got a little bit of a tongue lashing this week and challenged again, and they have come out putting some punishment on some people.
Well, they're starting off good here, too, already, Denny, and they got them in a tough situation, 3rd and long. They'll have to go to the air again.
3rd and 10, no gain on the last play. Going to run a pro set, and a man in motion. It's Mills backed off the tight end. Downfield, intercepted, Joe Holmberg. Intercepts at about the 47, to the 50, to the 40, inside the 35 to the 37. There's one of those St. Paul boys coming through in the clutch, and we got a flag that flies right away. And the Eagles are going to get a great opportunity, turned over by the defense. See what the penalty's about, though. I know last year was a couple of altercations between these two ball clubs, and Concordia's kind of had a history of that in the last couple of years.
That's what it was here. It was 2 guys throwing them, and and just see who the ref saw first or who got caught.
Joey Holmberg got hurt on the play, though. He's being helped off. Boy, this would be a loss. He's the veteran in that secondary, and they're kind of holding that shoulder stationary. Joe's been such a durable guy since he's been here. I don't believe he's ever had an injury of any consequence, and they're helping him off the field. He may not be back the way unless he just got the bell rung, but the way they're kind of holding that shoulder like he may have had it moved out of the socket. And they're going to work on him in the sidelines. Boy, he's the punt returner, the place kick holder, and, of course, the veteran in the secondary. It'd be a tough loss if he can't come back today.
Yeah, not only his athletic ability, but his leadership, too, Danny. And, boy, in secondary, that's so important to kind of have a coach out there, and I sure would like to see him come back here.
And I know he was really looking forward to this ball game, and it may be over for him earlier this afternoon. Well, the penalty moves the ball to the 18-yard line. Going to be a 1st and 10 there. Quick pitch by McClintock. Out to Kelvin Pierce, trying to get outside. Gives ground. Now cuts upfield to be hit at about the 15, down to the 14-yard line. Up to make the tackle for the Comets. In the secondary was Tim Schiller, senior out of West Fargo, North Dakota. I know we looked at and read the sizes of these Concordia kids, but as we saw them on defense for the first time, they had to wade with pads on. These kids don't look legitimately 245-pounders.
No, it looks like there's hardly any of them over 200, and I think that should be Westmar's advantage on the ground. They just look too small to me.
And Westmar is whumping them up there on the line of scrimmage here in the first quarter of action. Straight ahead, Charles Hill blasting into about the 10-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd and about 2 to go for the first down. We're down at the 10.5-minute mark here in quarter one. 7-0 in favor of Westmar, and they're on the move again thanks to a Joey Holmberg interception. And they are working on the right shoulder, Joe Holmberg. They put ice up underneath the shoulder pads, so let's hope for the best. Maybe just a shoulder bruise. Separation can, of course, be a real disabling injury for a guy, especially has to do tackling for a living.
Yeah, they're not taking any pads off or not walking him in the locker room, which is a good sign, but I guess they're just going to have to wait and see.
The middle, Hill in for a touchdown. That was just a quick opener. Charles went in virtually untouched, right up the pike, and boy, Westmar just whipping them bad up on the line of scrimmage.
And again on the ground, Danny, they're winning the battle in the trenches, so to speak, and that offensive line is just tearing huge holes.
13-0, Westmar 2 for 2 in the drive, and Charles Hill has them both. And now the point after attempt by Mike Morey, converted successfully on his first try. Of course, missed one a week ago and one down at Fremont, so I guess he's perfect here at this stadium so far. There's a snap, the kick, it is up and it is good. I should rescind that. I guess he did miss one against Dana here. He was perfect last week. He did hit the one down at Doane. So it's 14-0, 9:55 to go in the opening quarter of football.
Line will do the kickoff for the Eagles. Number 85, Jim McPartland, freshman from Sheldon, Iowa.
Jim McPartland approaching the football, kicks it short again because of that wind. Going to take a tricky hop, going to be grabbed right along the sidelines. Again, no return though. The return by Tom Matini, but not much of a return upfield. That one took kind of a funny hop, and again, Westmar almost there.
Yeah, again, it hung. It's kicked like the wind is old enough. That was kind of a knuckleball, kind of a spiral looking thing. It just like a flying saucer out there, and it took kind of a dead bounce, and Westmar was right on top of it again.
Eagle defense, which has already turned the ball over to the offense for points, back on the field again. And this team that's going to be airborne minded anyway today, threw for 400 yards a week ago, 40 completion or 40 attempts for Jim Rebelke. He's going to be forced to the air now in a catch-up roll. We'll see the ball in the air just virtually every play now. He'll run just occasionally to keep him honest. Dropping back, taking a look. Swings it out here for the back, incomplete, intended for John Schmidt, number 40.
Incomplete pass.
He was open, but Kevin Westhoff had him in his sights. He wouldn't have got too much further downfield. Might mention Rebelke was the District 15 Player of the Week last week up there in the St. Paul area, whatever district they are. District 15 Defensive Player of the Week, Frenchie Holmberg, was honored last week, and not a lot of publicity about that. Coach Maisel says we don't like that kind of publicity when we lose, feel kind of guilty about getting an award, I guess, off a loss, but Frenchie should be noted. He had 21 tackles, or 21 tackle points, same number he wears on the jersey. Speaking of Holmberg, Joey is back in there at cornerback. There's the pass, incomplete. Pass intended for number 85, Brad Belsas, senior out of Minneapolis. Right there to put the tag on was just a bruise, and he's back in there at left cornerback. He had a helmet and was ready to go, and he saw the defense was going to be back on the field. Rebelke back. There's the draw play to Schmidt, and John Schmidt's going to be hauled down behind the 25 about the 23-yard line. Udick and Dan Kratzel were in there to make the tackle. Kratzel at a very ginger 260 pounds. Not going to give you the quickness of an Oswald, but certainly he'll plug up the middle with size, and size may be a benefit today. Back to do the punting is going to be the quarterback, Rebelke. And Joey Holmberg's back there on punt return duty also, along with Paul Safford. High snap, Rebelke jumps to get it, blocked it, and it's going to be recovered by Marcus Hancher at about the 1-yard line. Trent Quick in there for the block for Westmar. Quick, the special teams specialist out of Trainer, Iowa, sophomore. Kind of spoke about him 2 weeks ago, that he was kind of just a little jewel in the rough there, diamond in the rough, if you will, finding him in a preseason scrimmage with Wayne State, and he has been a handy man on specialty teams all year.
That's right, and that's how these young guys on this team have got to come to the front, is they got to work their way up on the special teams, and that's part of how they do it. Where there's a big gift right there.
Marcus Hancher almost got the score out of it. It's at the 1-foot line. Going to let the offense come on and take it again. Really haven't had the offense on here long enough to even tell you who the starters are today. Rob White and Todd Skolton at the wideouts. Jeff Wolleisen, John Barton, Wayne Spearing, Tim Pauley, and Byron Bowling, along with Tim Shipley on the line of scrimmage. Kelly McClintock at quarterback, Kelvin Pierce, and Charles Hill in the running back spots. McClintock on the keeper himself, and Kelly has his first touchdown of the 1987 season on the quarterback sneak. 8:52 left to go, and the Eagles have rolled out to a 20-0 start. Well, I'd say the mission accomplished could be stamped on this one already. The Eagles are off and rolling, and they've got the kind of start they were looking for.
Well, yeah, definitely. And the thing that comes to mind is the BB game. We had a rolling start like that, but I just don't think the Concordia has the kind of stuff to come back. They just don't show me the size and overall team quality yet. So that should be a long afternoon here.
They are, of course, a football team on a 2-game winning streak. Kick is up and good by Morey. .8:52 to go. It's 21-0 in favor of the Westmar College Eagles. 3 for 3 on scoring and possessions. We'll be back after a little brief rundown of some of our sports-minded firms with the kickoff for the 3rd time here in the first quarter. Picking up where we left off, the 8-ball, First National Bank, Balmer's Shoes, TJ's Antiques, Sousa Mills Standard, the Lamar Savings Bank, and Truckhaven Cafe. People bringing you Westmar College football here in 1987.
Renee Schrock.
And the kickoff, again, high, not very long. Going to bounce in there, though, and be grabbed at the 22, 25, out over the 30. The return by Phil Rogers, a senior out of Chicago, Illinois, and flags fly again. Another little altercation. This time, Concordia kind of indicates it's against Westmar, as we're down to the 8:48 mark in the first quarter. It's been all silver and blue so far, and this is going to be 15 tacked onto it. Concordia finally going to get some field position in this ball game. I know, being on the short end of some lopsided scores back in my last football experience, it is tough to get something rolling when a team is, before I came to the stadium today on ESPN, about this is when maybe you pull out big or kind of trick plays to try and just get some momentum going. If you've got a trick play you can use once in a ball game, this might be a good time to try and pull it out just to get something going. Going to give up the middle to number 22, Phil Rogers, but there's virtually nothing there, and this defensive team is playing like they're possessed here this afternoon. It's going to be a gain of a yard. It's 2nd down, about 9 to go from the Concordia 47-yard line.
Well, it was the first time they ran a pure running play. The other 2 running plays were draws, which of course are to look like a pass. So maybe they're just decided that we're going to just try and get a drive down here and settle down and just try and get something going.
This Rebelke kid doesn't get rattled much. That's the scouting report on him. Going to the Nace backfielder, 1 setback, back to pass, sets in the pocket, fires her downfield, tipped and almost intercepted again by Joey Holmberg. Pass intended for Kevin Lindahl downfield. They were just going one-on-one. Lindahl and Joey Holmberg locked up last year on several occasions late in the ballgame up at St. Paul, and Joey won all of those battles, and he wins it here again. He was in great position for the interception.
You bet. He had perfect coverage, Denny, and again, they were trying to go for the big play.
Guy's trying to make up for that here today. He's off to a great start against Concordia from his hometown of St. Paul. Wendell in motion off to the left side. Rebelke back to pass. Taking a look. Swings one out here to Schmidt, the big fullback. Schmidt to the 45. Now to the 50. Princey, Holmberg, and Marcus Hanser up from the safety spots to make the hit, but it's short of a first down. Just across the 50 into Westmar Real Estate at about the 48. Short yet by 3 yards of a first down. And it's going to bring up a punting situation for Concordia. 21-0 Westmar, still in the first quarter and just virtually halfway through this opening period. And Westmar's going to get the ball back again. Joey Holmberg and Joe Safford are going to drop back to receive the punt. Or Paul Safford, I'm sorry, Paul and Joe back there to receive the punt, and Rebelke, the quarterback, back to do the punting. Big rush again. This is a low kickoff to the left side of the foot. Holmberg going to slip a little bit. Now they'll let the thing roll dead at about the 9-yard line. So not a bad punt thanks to the roll there. About 39 yards. Joe Holmberg thought the end zone. We're going to find out what the offense can do when they're backed up in the hole. They haven't thrown a pass yet today, I don't believe. They're going to give to Charles Hill. And Hill blasts that over the 15 to about the 16-yard line. Up there to make the hit for Concordia. From the linebacker core is going to be number 45, Tom Higgins, I believe, up there to make the hit. 21-0 Westmar, and we're at the 6:40 mark in the first quarter. Westmar's looking at a second down at about 3 to go. Split backs, pro set. Kelvin Pierce breaks the tackle and gets out to near the 20. It's going to be close to a first down. I'll tell you one other advantage of getting a big lead. You'll be getting a chance to let all these young kids play, and I know there's one guy I've been waiting to see, Vernon Bolden. This kid is on the verge of cracking into some playing time at the varsity level. He ran for about 200 yards last Monday in a JV win over Buena Vista to the tune of 35-7. This kid has got some great tools, kind of a combination of a Charles Hill and Kelvin Pierce, and I'm excited about the prospects of this kid playing at Westmar for 4 seasons, or 3 more after this year, and it's getting to the time they're going to have to find out how much of a contribution he can make. He's getting restless on the sidelines, I think, is the bottom line. There's the give up the middle to Pierce. Pierce going to be stacked up at about the 20. And you get to the point, too, Brownie, where some of those young kids are starting to press some of the veterans and making them play a little higher level of football. Kelvin Pierce, I'm thinking of, getting pushed right now by Vernon Bolden.
You bet, and from experience, those guys, even though you're the starter, you know they're back there, and that does help push you. And it's also a tough decision for coaches. You know, they want to get these guys in and give them a little action, and they need to do it right. They don't want to lose the continuity of the team, but they also got some good players on the sideline that can contribute, and it's kind of tough to figure out how to get them in sometimes.
1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Westmar driving it out from the shadow of their own goal line. Pitch out, Kelvin Pierce, 20, 25, and he'll hurdle to about the 26-yard line. Up there to make the hit for the Comets, going to be number 35, Tom Matiney, sophomore out of Mendota Heights, Minnesota. Got about 6 yards on the carry. 5:06 to go and counting here in the opening quarter of football. Split receivers out there wide left. Backfield is split. Shipley, the tight end here on the right side. Clinic up over the center. Wayne Spearing. Option play, left side, pitch out. Kelvin Pierce, 25, 30, out to close to the 35-yard line, or he's going to be tripped up after gaining the first down yardage. Number 55 there to make the hit on him. Tom Wolf, a senior out of 1st and 10. And now the ball has moved out to about the 36-yard line. Back to pass. Skolton makes the catch at the 40. Down to the 50. And down at about the Concordia 49-yard line. First pass of the ball game even connects. And that was going to be good for about 14 yards. Skolton, who is the now equal to Kelvin Pierce in regards to pass catching on this team, both with 9 receptions. Skolton comes into the game averaging 28 yards per reception. Of course, a lot of the yardage he's picked up this year came in those 2 big games, or the big game down at Midland, where he had the 2 big long catches for touchdowns, including the school record 93-yarder. There's the give to Charles Hill, breaks the tackle, breaks another one, and he blasts into Concordia Real Estate to the 45-yard line. He didn't have a hammer down there. He was just kind of picking and choosing his way, kind of tiptoeing up through the secondary and bound it up for 5 yards.
Play at first look didn't look like it gained much, but they got 5 yards. That shows the offensive line is really hitting out and getting them some yards, or even if you don't break through the line of scrimmage. But there was tough 5 yards, but boy, that's what they want.
Lane Bell caught his first touchdown pass, his first pass as an Eagle last Saturday night. In there at wide out of the right side, quick pitch, Kelvin Pierce, 45, stiff arm, look out, 40, 35, 30, down the sidelines, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and down he goes at about the 2-yard line, almost ripped it off for the 45-yard TD scamper. But it's first and goal to go. So Pierce with his great open field running ability there, Brownie.
Oh, that's right, in the speed. Boy, when he got free, it was like a shot down the sideline, and it was a good defensive play to stop him. I thought he was in free, but boy, what a big pickup. And that's the Kelvin Pierce I've been waiting to see. He's got so much speed, and he's the outside man. He's not an inside hammer runner, but that's fun to watch.
Well, Kelvin had a 100-yard game in the opener against the Beavers from Buena Vista. He's going to be shooting for that today. He's already had a couple of big gainers. He and Charles Hill off to a good start this afternoon. 3:14 to go first quarter. Westmar banking to go up by 4 touchdowns. Pierce into the middle. He'll be stacked up with the line of scrimmage right at about the 2. That time the line didn't get it opened up in the middle. Concordia really stacked it up at their goal line.
Now, a lot of times a coach makes a reaction. He got the 40-yard run. I'm going to let him get the touchdown. And a lot of times they go right to the same back that got him there. And sometimes defenses pick that up. Maybe they did or didn't. I don't know. But they'll give it a few more shots here.
Well, they had Marcus Hancher warming up the hold for placement here on the sideline. So Joey Holmberg must not be 100%. They're going to relieve him of some of his duties today, apparently, and let him just play defense and return kicks. Pitch out, Kelvin Pierce. He's going to go in, standing up, touchdown. Pierce with his 4th touchdown of the season. He and Charles Hill with 4 apiece now. And the Eagles have made it 4 for 4. That was a 91-yard drive.
That was impressive, Danny. He got a good ground game mixed with 1 pass in there finally, and the big play, and that's a nice drive.
They've had mistake-free drives all afternoon so far, haven't
they?
So
far, it's been almost perfect.
No penalties. Penalties have been on the specialty teams and defense, I think, to this point. And no turnovers from Westmar. 27-0. Morey tries to go 4 for 4. The snap is low. Hancher going to roll out of there. Now throws. Hill's got it. 2-pointer. Oh, nothing can go wrong here today. Hancher to Hill for 2, and it's 29-0 with 2:31 to go in the first quarter.
Take a ball, Westy.
Well, Westy the Eagle is going to be pretty tired doing jumping jacks after every point scored today. Kickoff going to be knocked down, picked up at the 20, 25, 30, 35, and a little sloppy with the coverage on the kickoff this time, and going to end up being about a 20-yard return by Phil Rogers. And another flag goes down. Seems like every time we have a kick in this ball game here in the first quarter, there's a little altercation. So the tempers are flaring. Concordia getting a little frustrated, I'm sure.
And it's a little over eager on the kickoff team, Westmar, and a lot of those guys are some of these second-string players that want to get to that ball carrier. And
really not a chance to even show his stuff today. Westmar is pretty much knowing he's going to throw the ball now, and boy, they're going to be coming with a pass rush. Back to pass. Rebelke staying in the pocket, firing it. Whoa, he's got Lindahl wide open, and he can't hit him. 15 yards behind him, and that's his man on man. So I don't know what exactly happened there.
They all turned and looked at each other back there. There was like 4 defensive backs saying, hey, wait a second. And Westhoff said, no, I'm a linebacker. That was not my man. Something was definitely mixed up, and that was a big play that we talked about Concordia has to have, and Rebelke just couldn't hit him.
Well, that's a sign there that it's Westmar up in Minnesota for his passing abilities. Well, he's only completed about 1 or 2 passes today. Back to pass. Taking a look now, he rolls right, staying cool in the pocket, fires her down the middle, in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that was a bullet, but right off the shoulder pads of, I think, Lindahl again. And that's only 1 pass completion in 7 attempts with 1 interception. So that's hardly the kind of passing attack I guess we expected out of this football team today.
No,
Cross in his first year was looking for it too. Back to pass, fires her to Lindahl, incomplete. That was over the mark. And it brings up a 4th down, another punting situation coming up for the Comets with 2:04 to go in the first quarter. It's 29-0 Westmar.
I assume he's right on that, isn't he?
4th down, and it's going to be 10 to go, and they're going for it. Rebelke back, trailing by 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, going to the home run ball, intercepted by Holmberg. Joey to the 25, 30, and he's going to be wrestled down at about the 32. Another flag goes down across the field from where the interception was made. That one was underthrown Bronny, and again, excellent coverage by Holmberg. This Rebelke's got Lindell just kind of picked out, and he's going to try and force the ball into him, it looks like.
That's right, and you said the right word, and he just forced it in there. The coverage was on him, stride for stride all the way. He really shouldn't have thrown it. Should have thrown it out of bounds and just wasted the play, but big interception. We got a couple of yellow flags down, so we'll see what they got going here.
That's going to back the Eagles up to the 9-yard line. They'll get 1st and 10 there. Well, they put it into the end zone from here last time at a 10-play, 91-yard drive. They are 4 for 4 in his first quarter, in scoring touchdowns into the wind. McClintock back, taking a look, fires her for Skolden, in and out of his hands. And then a pretty good shot put on by the man of the secondary, Dan Bond. That was catchable again. That was right in there.
Yep, couldn't have it any better. A nice little break of the outside and had first down yardage too. Perfect pattern.
After the incomplete pass, McClintock's got him set on the 9-yard line. Split backs, pro set. Gives Charles Hill quick opener up the middle, and Hill out over the 15, out to near the 20-yard line. It should be enough for a Westmar first down. Well, that quick opener just worked all day long, hasn't it?
That's right, so far. And that 4-4, you got to have really tough, quick linebackers. We saw Buena Vista run it.
Out to the 18-yard line. Clinic on an option play. Pitch out to Hill. To the 20, to the 25, and he's driven out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Pretty good lick put on again by the cornerback, Dan Bond. By Adler's, Williams and Company, Sweet 16 Lanes, Neats and Grubs, and Custom Interior. Option play left side. McClintock pitching. Here's Kelvin Pierce, button heads and going down at about the 32-yard line. Going to get about 3 or 4 on the play. Time Concordia did a little better job of stringing it out. 2nd down at about 6 to go for Westmar as they set up on the 32-yard line. Back to pass. McClintock takes a look, fires for Skolden, makes the catch, got him a first down out to about the 40-yard line. Simple little down and out, and they gave him the coverage from the linebacker, Tom Mattini, and Skolden probably figures that's a mismatch, and he had to beat him with his speed.
That's right. And
trying to fashion a 91-yard drive straight ahead to Hill, and Charles going to only get a yard or so this time, and he'll go out to about the 41-yard line. Clock, and this crowd's being treated to a dandy. Football action being brought to you by Custom Interiors, by Evans Clothing, Godfather Pizza, Arnold Motor Supply, Steel Ford, and Schuster Grain. 2nd down and 8 as Westmar opens up this 2nd quarter, heading now with a little bit of the breeze behind them. Kind of a crosswind here through most of the first half. McClintock in the option. Pitch out. No, fake the pitch out. 50, 45, 40. Kelly's going to go the route. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, 60 yards. Whoa, he faked me out with that pitch, and he took about 2 Comets to the outside with him with that little fake pitch.
That's right, and they were way downfield. Boy, what execution. Again, I say they got the corner. That means they got around the end, and it was this free sail, and he had the pitch man, but he didn't need him, and it was just got to be a little foot race, and boy, he had a big guard, big lineman running right downfield with him. That's what I like to see, them linemen escorting their quarterbacks downfield.
Tim Polly getting the congrats there as he comes off, so I'm sure he had a block that helped spring that one from the left guard position. Hansher going to hold. Morey tries to stay perfect in the afternoon, and he does. 35-0, and they are 5 for 5 on drives here today. 2 91-yard drives in this first half back-to-back. Well, this now is the most points racked up against this Concordia team this year. 28 had been the previous high by Colorado College of the Mines. Kickoff's going to be taken over the shoulder by Phil Rogers. Rogers out over the 20, now out over the 30, and he'll go down at about the 33-yard line. He got an Eagle kind of slow in getting up there. I think on the specialty teams, that's going to be Dwayne Hobart. Looks like the knee, and he's, of course, been a big, prominent part of the blocking back alignment for Westmar, running out of that wishbone. There's the give to Schmidt, the big fullback, off tackle. And I'll tell you, Concordia's had the balls a little in this ballgame. They really haven't got anything established at all offensively, have they?
I don't know that they've gotten a first down. They maybe have 1 or 2, but that would be less. And, they just can't get any kind of running game going, and now they're going to have to throw into the wind. It's going to be tough. You know, what does the coach call when you're down this far? So it's going to be a long afternoon for them.
Well, it seems a little hard to believe, but we looked at the record book, and 49 points is the Westmar record for a game, and Westmar's only 13 off of that. That hardly seems like it should be a little more than that. Westmar surely got into the 50s, but that's what the book says here. There's a completed pass, but Westhoff is right there and made a pretty good smack on the receiver, Phil Rogers, just immediately on making the catch. Westmar, third down at about 6 to go from the Concordia 37-yard line. Rebelke with a long count. Must be some checking off of the line of scrimmage. Back to pass, taking a look. Fires over the middle. Going to be incomplete. Pass intended. Back to punt. It's 4th down and 6. And a long, long ride back home. I think awaiting the comments. Westmar leading at 36-0 with 13:08 to go in the second quarter. Joey Holmberg going to take it at the 36 out over the 40 to the 43. Return of Kelly McClintock up, taking a look at that defense. There's going to be some school records set in this one, I think. There's Charles Hill going into the middle, and Hill going to be across the 45 about the 47-yard line. Going to gain about 4 or 5 in the play. 12:51 to go. First half, 36-0.
Gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6.
Blaine Bell going to split wide to the right side. Todd Skolton here to the near side. Backfield of Pearson Hill split behind the quarterback McClintock. Quick pitch to Hill. Hill going to go down for a loss in the play back at the 44-yard line. I believe that's about the first minus yardage today for Westmar, isn't it?
Well, I guess there's a first time for everything, but Charles.
Westmar going to work out of the pro set. McClintock straight drop back, fires a slant in, tipped up in the air and intercepted. Flag going to go down. We got some pass interference going to be called, and Tracy Harrell going to be flagged by the referee. Made the early contact. Nothing goes right for Concordia. Vert and whistle, Brownie. And
that's our break there, I think. Is we had the pass interference. I'm sure it would have been on us.
They rule the play dead, and usually you never see them call a play dead while it's in the process. Kelly McClintock gets level as he unloads the football. Skolton downfield is broken up. McClintock is still down. Boy, did he get hammered, and he's hurt.
It's one of those quarterback, as soon as he releases, all extended, and those are tough ones to see. You're so vulnerable, but you got to take them.
McClintock did get up and walk off, but that may be the signal that Coach Maisel needed to get some help in there, get some backup people starting to see some action in this ball game. Fair catch going to be called for. They let it drop, they let it roll, and going to help Westmar a little bit with field position here. They pinned Concordia deep in the hole. We've got to calm it down to the play also. For Concordia, he did get helped off the field. They brought the stretcher out, didn't end up needing it, so that's good news, and hopefully the injury won't be all that serious. Certainly don't want anybody hurt bad out of the thing, but it really is some hitting going on. There's a fumble. Westmar's got it. And in there was Patrick Walton to make his first career fumble recovery, freshman out of St. Petersburg. And the offense right back out there again with excellent field position. To it again, they got the wind of their back now, and we're at 11:15 to go in his second quarter. Kelly McClintock got him set at a wishbone set here. There's Vernon Bolden getting his first career varsity carry, and he's going to be inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. This kid, of course, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago, or several weeks ago, about his full ride to Temple that he was offered. Westmar won out, and we're glad to have him. A freshman kid out of Wyandotte, New York, just tons and tons of talent. He's a hitter, kind of good speed, deceptive speed, and Coach Maisel's been real impressed with the way he follows blockers for a freshman kid. Seems to have a lot of natural instincts, and he can throw people off his upper body. Tacklers just seem to bounce off of him. Pitch out to Charles Hill. Hill to the 15, Hill to the 10, and out of bounds inside the 10, about the 6-7 yard line. Here also getting a chance. He's been basically playing JV ball and, of course, doing a little work on the specialty teams. There's Bolden up the middle. There's a little of that tackle-breaking ability. You can see it on the video there. And he's inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. This kid is just a slasher.
That's right, and he made that final spin move and still extended into a guy to get another extra half a yard when he's going down. So he's showing us some stuff. It's going to be fun to watch him progress. And
McClintock got a set down. Kelly came back after that hit he took. There's Bolden again. And welcome to college football there, Vernon. The freshman took a pretty good rap as he got gang tackled for a loss back at about the 5 or 6 yard line. Interesting story about Vernon. Saw him in practice this week. They were using him more and more as the practice week went on. He and J.R. Johnson had a little bit of a head-to-head collision, and J.R. bounced off. He's a guy that usually dishes out the pain, and he got him shaking his head a little bit. That tells you the hitting force of Vernon Bolden. This kid kind of looks for contact, though. He's not one for dodging and weaving and running around people. He likes to run over people. From the wishbone, quick pitch, Vernon Bolden. He's going to give him a chance to score. Blast into the end zone, touchdown. Took it in from about 4 yards away. His first career touchdown. They had Vernon Bolden designed all the way for that because they gave it to him. Freshman. They convert with a freshman for the points. Kick by Morey is good. It's 42-0. 7 will be a first half record. 9:35 left to go before halftime yet. Jim McPartland going to kick this one off. That's 6 of 7 drives. Westmar found pay dirt this afternoon. There's the kick taken at about the 19. Oh, he's going to get outside of the running lane. 25-30, 35 to the 40. And again, kind of sloppy coverage on the kickoff team. The return going to be made for the Comets by number 23, Tim Schiller. That's 2 straight times in a kickoff team, Bronny. I don't know if we're running some different people in there or what, but not real good coverage lanes run by the specialty people.
Well, I think that
after the return, because of a personal foul penalty, that's been the biggest play for Concordia today. 15 after the kickoff, and Westmar started to do a little head hunting, it looks like, on the specialty teams. Back to pass, Rebelke. Receiver fell down trying to swing it out here on the flat. To 1 down and 10 for Concordia. Comets just had a miserable afternoon. 43-0. Back to pass, blitz on. Wayne Udick in pursuit. The pass is going to be underthrown. I believe this kid threw for 400 yards last week. He's 2 for 13 with an interception. Back to pass, big rush. The Clouds chased him out of the pocket, and they're in pursuit, and Rebelke going to just go off the field. He knows what side his bread is buttered on, and we've got another bit of an altercation over there on the Concordia side. The flags fly, kind of a late hit out of bounds, and Concordia didn't like it at all.
Well, that's one you don't do in front of the home side over there. And there aren't many of them over there. There's only a few guys on their bench, but that's something that Westmar just can't do. They're out here, got this game in control. They don't need personal foul penalties.
Foul penalty moves the ball to the 25. That's the second first down for the Comets, and they both been by penalty this afternoon. Oh, he gives to his fullback Schmidt, and he goes down immediately, hitting the backfield just the minute he got the ball stuffed into the tummy. 15 to go for the first down. The ball back at the Westmar 29. Back to pass, fumble as the sack team got in there and made the contact, sandwiched the quarterback Rebelke, who got on it. And about 21 to go for the first down. It's negative rushing yardage now with that quarterback sack for the day. For the Comets, back to pass. A swing pass to Schmidt out here to the 40. Joey Holmberg had a hold of him by the jersey and got some help, and going to take him down to the 40-yard line. Another loss of 4 on that play, and 4th down, and they need about 24 yards for the first down, so Rebelke back to punt. Gonna get it off the side of the foot, and this isn't gonna net much yardage either. He really got it off the field, and there looks like gonna give him yardage at about the 28-yard line. So that's a punt of only about 12 yards.
He got it the right way and got it off the side of his foot.
Yeah, we got a new quarterback in here for Westmar College. Chad Samich, the freshman out of Denison, Iowa, of course, quarterbacked the game against the Bulldogs last year, and we were impressed with his senior season in high school. And he's in here quarterbacking the Westmar varsity offense for the first time in his young career. Kid that's got a lot of promise. The varsity people. Still got the varsity blockers and offensive backs behind him. Samich going to go down for a loss here. Back at about the 21-yard line.
There's one of those.
Samich got him set down. It's 3rd down at about 19 to get a flag down. Somebody encroached up front. It's for penalty range now. It's a legal procedure against the Eagles, and we're still 5:23 away from intermission. Samich back to pass. Now out of the pocket, and he'll be sacked back inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line. Only the second time in the first half, Concordia has stopped Westmar, and they're going to punt the ball from the end zone. White, now he's going to run it from out of the end zone. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he is close to a first down. We're going to see where they spot it.
That's a good choice, but he had about 40 yards, 35 to go there. I don't think he made it.
That was kind of an option, it looked like. He was in the end zone, did a little stutter step, and if they to the first down, looked like kind of an option in the end zone. He could maybe run it if the pursuit wasn't coming, which it wasn't. If he felt he could make it, and he almost did from way out of the end zone. Had to get out to about the 40, and he came out to about the 38. For the Comets, Rebelke still in there. Quarterback Lindahl in motion to the near side. Back to pass. Udick forcing him out of the pocket. Down he goes. Getting in there to make the quarterback sack is going to be freshman Patrick Walton, who set up a touchdown today with a fumble recovery. And it's going to be a day to let some kids grow up and get a little experience, Bronny. Some freshman kids are going to get to play a lot.
Well,
15 to go after the quarterback sack. Flags all over the place. Now Rebelke rolling left, fires down the field, going to be broken up. Tending the pass for Mills. He had a receiver, Schmidt, open in the middle of the field, and he threw instead of the one double covered. Fourth down and 19 to go, and they're back to punt again. 2:50. Whoa, he fumbled the center snap. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong for Concordia. Well, Bronny, you might as well get this all out of your system in one day.
That's right. I'm sure that's what their coach is saying. They got to look for something positive, but things are going Westmar's way here now.
So forget the bad snap, forget the sack of the punter. It's first down for Concordia. They get it at the Westmar 36-yard line, and those penalty yards just keep piling up. Rebelke going to check off the line of scrimmage. Boy, he's going to run close to having too much time. And there's some early movement from Westmar, whether McLeod was pulled off or not. Mark clapping his hands, apparently going to get the call. Legal procedure going to be called against the Comets. Comets got a little over anxious there. Flow, I think, Bronny, with all of the penalties and all whatnot. Pass out to Lindahl, a little quick out. And Lindahl inside the 35, driven out at about the 30. Ball boys playing catch on the sidelines. They got to run over there. I hope everybody's all right. Apparently they are.
He wanted to go home and get his shoulder pads. He needed it there. He really hit hard there.
Second down at about 6 to go. Little double reverse. Lindahl faked the pitch back to the quarterback. Here's Lindahl trying to get around that corner. Breaks the tackle east of the 30. 25 and out of bounds. That's the first time that I think Concordia has picked up a first down on their own this afternoon. And pretty good move there by Lindahl.
Yeah, he made a nice fake there. They had all kinds of fakes. They faked reverses and pitchbacks to the quarterback and had them defensive linemen running. They hate that, but I guess it was a first down for him. There's kind of those gadget plays.
Here, Ron Corey cheering up top, our cameraman. His Lindahl's father was Ron's best man at his wedding.
How about that? Small world, isn't it?
First down for the Comets, and they're down now, knocking on the door again at the 26. Westmar's defense has been challenged a little bit here late in this first half. Going to be stacked up into the middle. Again, running the football for the Comets was number 22, Phil Rogers. Halftime, 43-0. Westmar on top as we're nearing halftime of this homecoming game. It's about a game's worth already in the first 30 minutes. Back to pass. Rebelke into a crowd, tipped up into the air and incomplete. Pretty good coverage again from the secondary. Action being brought to you today by Bern Anderson Equipment, by Newbold Chevrolet, Cruise and Cruise CPA, Sod's Bar and Grill, Bucky and Foxy's Highlight, Timmy's Cafe, Gene's Plumbing and Heating, Kitchens Incorporated, Pizza Hut, Hotop Jewelry, Taylor Auto, Joe's Movie House, and Appliance in Video City. 7 to go, and the Eagles rooting support, trying to help the defense here. Trying to keep that shutout preserved this afternoon. Rebelke back, takes a look right, going down for Lindahl. That's going to be caught. What a catch by Rebelke at the 3-yard line. Joey had him perfectly covered. Rebelke with a remarkable catch after the ball was thrown over the wrong shoulder. First and goal for the Comets. Rebelke sets him down on the 3-yard line. First and goal to go, or 2-yard line make it. And the Eagles trying to grab grass with 51 seconds to go before halftime. Going to give straight into the middle. This is to number 22, Phil Rogers. He'll be stacked up for a yard loss at the 3-yard line. 44 seconds left to go, and it's Concordia taking a timeout. Second down, goal to go from the 2.5-yard line. See Dwayne Hobart on crutches heading to the locker room. He had the knee injury early. He's done for today, and hopefully it's not a tear. Throw toward the end zone, going to be incomplete. He had Mills open out there on the flat, but the arm was bumped as he followed through, and it falls harmlessly to the turf. It's third and goal from the 2. Rebelki up over center, takes a look at that Westmar defense. Eagles playing with some pride now, trying to keep that shutout preserved. Back to pass, incomplete. Trying to hit Lindahl. Lindahl cut in, and Rebelki thought he was going to cut out. Joey had him covered pretty good. Holmberg with the coverage, and the incompletion makes it 4th and goal in the 2 with 34 seconds to go. Comets up to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and goal in the 2, and the Eagles are on their feet trying to help that defense keep the goose egg up there with 34 seconds to go and a half. Going to give to Schmidt. He won't get there. A stack up in the middle, and he's down short of the goal line, and 4 cracks from the 2. They couldn't make it in. That shows you right there what a defensive domination on the line of scrimmage Westmar is enjoying here this afternoon. Marcus Hancher's in there at quarterback now as Westmar brings the offense on from their own 2. Back to pass. Now quarterback draw. Hancher to the 5. Out to the 10. Out to about the 12. Should be close to a first down. Not only did Concordia not get into the end zone from the 2 and 4 cracks, I don't think they really got but more than a foot of yardage gained in that stretch of time. And 14 seconds left to go in a half. Timeout for the Eagles. Get the first down, 2nd down and inches. You have Bolden and Hill in the backfield behind Marcus Hancher. There's Hill, a quick opener, 20, 30, 35, tripped up, fumbles the ball upfield, but he's down before the fumble. 1st and 10 for Westmar. He almost went the route out to about the 37-yard line, 25-yard gallop. The play, but gets up and trots off, so I hopefully think he'll be back for Concordia. Boy, they're losing some people along with taking a pretty good licking here from the Eagle football team. Just a physical pounding. Marcus Hancher back to throw, airs it out downfield for Neil Hall, incomplete. And that's going to do it for a marathon first half of football, 43-0 Westmar. Just 6 points shy of equaling the school record for a game. It's the biggest half of football in Eagle history. 3-0 ball game. Again, Charles Hill with 2 touchdowns, Kellen McClinic with 2 first-half touchdowns, Kelvin Pierce with a touchdown run, and also Vernon Bolden with his first career touchdown run. 43-0. Westmar with 315 total yards to 23 for Concordia. I can't remember a bigger mismatch in Westmar history since I've been here since '73. Kickoff going to come down to Phil Rogers back at about the 10. He's going to carry it out over the 25, and what do you know, a kickoff with no penalties, Brownie.
Nope, there's one that just got thrown. I'm sure it's personal foul. I saw a few pushes and shoves, and I would hope they would have that out of their system a little bit here, but definitely the frustration there and showing up here.
A foul penalty on the kickoff on the Eagles, so that'll give them 15 more. Moves the ball out to the 40-yard line. That puts the Eagles up there at 100 yards and penalties now for the ball game. 3rd time in 5 games now they've been up over 100 yards. There's the Rogers getting outside, trying to sweep, and he'll be out to about the 45, gain of 5. Well, Concordia doesn't really have enough people to go to a second squad. This is when you let your younger kids play when you get whumped so bad, but they don't really have very much depth, so they're basically still in there with the regulars. Rebelki back to pass. Oh, what a collision out there on the flat. The pass was complete, but only for a couple of yards, and Lindahl takes a pretty good pop as he'll pick up a couple of yards the hard way, Brownie.
That's right. He paid for it, and a good defensive hit and held off a first down here.
One thing about this Rebelki kid, he actually went to the University of Minnesota and played hockey for a couple of years and then decided to get talked into going out for football at Concordia. So he actually was coaching a little bit after dropping out of Minnesota, and then they called him back into the college ranks, and this is how he got to be a Concordia quarterback at the age of 22 as a sophomore. 3rd down at a yard to go. Back to pass, Rebelki, big rush again. Wayne Udick breathing down his back. Pass is going to be out there for Mills. We got some early hitting done out here by Brad T. Kratzel. And the Eagles going to be called for pass interference.
There's one of those experience plays that doesn't hurt you in a game when you're up 43-0, and he'll learn to pick up some experience on that, how to react to it.
46-yard line, going to be a 1st and 10 for the Comets right there. 13:21 to go, 3rd quarter. 43-0 Westmar. Rebelki stumbles as he comes away from center. Back to pass, airing it out downfield. Another contact that was a little early, and a flag going to be thrown late on the play. There was a little pushing going on there, and that one's legitimate. I thought they were going to get away with that for a moment. Kevin Myers shoved to the ground by Seeloff, and a penalty again against Westmar.
Penalties are sure an adversary. I guess, again, 43-0, you can afford them, but you don't want to get in this habit. A close game, these could be backbreakers, the ones they're having, and it looks like...
They felt the ball was not catchable, so they're going to wave off the pass interference. 2nd and 10, back to pass, airing it out for Lindahl, and that was way over the mark by some 10-15 yards. Rebelke again threw for over 400 yards last week, but they tell me, Brownie, it was not against a very good secondary, and I think seeing him throw here today, that's got to be obvious.
Yeah, that's right. He's had to roll out of his pockets. He's fairly mobile. He's a big kid, but yeah, he's just having a heck of a time. He's overthrown his receivers and just hasn't gotten the groove yet.
He's looking at 3rd and 10 for the Comets. They do a little shifting around now. Personnel, they've got everybody packed in tight. Those running backs are only about a yard and a half behind the quarterback. Back to pass, quick pass, going to Lindo. He has to dive to make the catch, and not enough for the first down. Inside the 40 to about the 38, and we've got another altercation back upfield near the line of scrimmage. On both teams, I think both teams had a player kicked out. Robert Johnson ejected for Westmar, so he's out of the ball game. Freddie Anderson in there at linebacker. Westhoff coming on a blitz as the quarterback drops back to pass, going for Lindahl, and that's incomplete. Lindahl is still hand-checking with Joey Holmberg downfield before he may cut out, and incomplete again. It's 2nd down, 10. Looking over that Westmar offense, again, only 23 total yards. They about double that in penalty pickups. So in fact, they got 4 times how much yardage on penalties. Rebelke going to be tripped up by Mike Rogers on the play on the sack. Tripped him up behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll go down at about the 23-yard line. A loss of 2 on the play, and it's 3rd and about 12. Concordia offensive team, they've been given many, many gifts here to try and get into the end zone, and they still can't push it in. 4 downs from 2 yards away just before halftime and couldn't get in. Back to pass over the middle, tipped up into the air, and intercepted by Westhoff. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Pitches back to Joey Holmberg, and the ball's loose. Westmar is going to get it way out at the 45-yard line. Looks like the Keystone Cops out there, Brownie.
Well, that was a wild one, and all happened at the end of the play. Beautiful interception. Westhoff, he thought, I'm a quarterback. I'm going to option it. I guess
the rule at a 43-yard return. Westhoff with his first interception of the year. And Hancher in there, quarterback. 45-40, down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Westmar hasn't scored any points since the 9:35 mark of the second quarter. That was their 43rd points at that stage of the ball game, so it's been a while since anybody scored.
That's right. It's the game is getting drug out here, and it'd be nice to see Westmar get a little drive going here with Marcus at the helm and some second stringers, and kind of get this assembled back to a normal football game and get some time off. And it'd be nice to see the second string get some points.
2nd down, 2 to go from the 39-yard line. Hancher's got Charles Hill and Kelvin Pearson in the backfield, Rob White. And Trent Quick out there at the wideouts. And Hancher mixing up in the backfield. Gonna be throwing for a loss. John Barton still in there at one of the guard spots. Byron Bowling still in there. Kevin Fowler in there playing a tackle now, so it's not all new people, but some new people mixed in with the old regulars.
That helps give some continuity to the game too, Denny. You throw a whole fresh team out there, then it can get a little helter-skelter, and they usually like to just sift them in there one at a time and get the feel of it.
More helter-skelter than it's been.
Well, can't get much worse.
3rd down from the 44, loss of 5 in the last play. Hancher rolling out to the right, takes a look, now fires, gonna be incomplete. Trying to hit Blaine Bell on the down and out for the first down, but it's short, and it's gonna be 4th down at about 7. 4th down, and it's punt time for Rob White. Kicks an end-over-end punt straight up in the air. And that's going to take a lateral roll, going to be out of bounds at the 23-yard line. That looks more like the kickoffs we've been expecting out of him at Parkland, and Parkland's been kicking more of a punt variety on the kickoffs.
That's right, he got his toe under the point of the ball and kind of had a backward spin that did get up into the wind, and got him set back there in pretty good defensive field position.
An 18-yard punt, and the Comets take over, throwing 26-yard line. Split backs, pro set with split receivers to both sides. There's the getter Rogers. Bill Rogers going to carry out to near the 30-yard line. He'll get about 3 or 4.
Tackled by Mark McLeod, 92, and 50, Kurt Westhoff.
Second down at about 8 to go, 9:30 to play in the third quarter. And now a little mix up in the Concordia backfield, and Rebelke going to put a man in motion. No backs behind him now. He's going to have everybody out in the pass pattern. Big rush. And Walton almost got in there with a sack trying to go on a fly pattern. He just never had time to set that one up, Ronnie. That's pretty dangerous not having any protection in there from backs.
No, he sent them all out. I don't know whether they're short a player there or what, but just had to deliver it way before he had any time and didn't even allow his receiver to break open.
Third down at 8. Obvious passing situation. 2 backs behind the quarterback going out of the pro set. Rebelke dropping back to pass, taking a look, gonna fire one down way over the receiver's head, intercepted by Holmberg again. Joey with his second interception, got a reverse field, 45, and he won't get anywhere after reversing the field. Coming up to make the tackle is gonna be Bill Rogers. Flags down all over the place, more fisticuffs, and I think this one may be gonna go against the Comets. This game may set a NAIA record for most total penalty yardage. Westmar out of the wishbone set. Marcus Hancher. Option play. Pitch out. Kelvin Pierce. Kelvin giving ground. Now he puts a little move on. He gets to the corner. 30, 25, 20. And he's going to be out of bounds. And another sideline observer goes down there. Some of those folks are getting in the way of the action on the sidelines here today. It's going to be pickup of about 8 yards. 8 or 9 yards. Going to be second down. Boy, you just breathe a sigh of relief when there's no penalties down on any play, or the way this one's going here this afternoon. First and 10, he got about 11 on the play after they mark it downfield a little further to 23-yard line. And the Eagles are on the march again. Well, Marcus Hancher's defense, he didn't work on any offense this week, so he was kind of rusty coming in here. There's the pitch, Charles Hill and the option. Charles gets the corner turn, tight ropes the sidelines for a yard or two to the 21. Second down at about 8 to go. Going to give off tackle. There is Heath Fitzsimmons, and Fitzsimmons is going to carry inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. That's his first career carry, I believe. And a little background on this guy, a little short guy, 5 foot, 790 pounds, freshman out of Ridge, New York, but they say he came from quite a high school program. He's got a real solid frame to him, but not real good size.
No, he's short and little, and I don't think the 190 is probably too accurate, at least at this point in the season, but quick, explosive little back. He sure kind of hid behind his lineman and broke right up the middle for a nice pickup.
First and goal to go at the 9-yard line. Got about 12 yards on his first college varsity carry. He's been playing some JV action. Good little blocker, they tell me. Good fundamental football player. And he certainly figures in the future. Quick pitch. Charles Hill to the 5, to the goal line. Touchdown. Hill's third TD of the day, 5th of the season. And that'll put points on the board for the first time since about the 9.5-minute mark of the second quarter. And Westmar has equaled the school record, if that 49 is accurate, set in 1979 against USD Springfield. I was with Donnie Colston of that bunch, and that was probably one of the finest offensive football teams in the school's history, Brownie.
That's right, and I guess I would have guessed the record might be higher, but that is a lot of points, and it's fun to see him get it here so quick. Good drive. I think Coach Maisel wanted that. He had a lot of starters in there and wanted to see this offense come out here in the second half and put something back on the board before he takes more of them out.
Now he's got Joey Holmberg back in there to hold for placement. Morey is perfect on the afternoon and will stay that way. And with 8-20 game record. Here's McPartland's kickoff. This one with the wind at his back, high and end over end. Rogers at the 2, to the 5, to the 10, to the 15. Looks for blockers and some help, and nothing but blue shirts around. Down he goes at about the 15-yard line. No yellow. No yellow. Apparently there won't be a flag on this one.
That'd be the first time.
Still with Rebelke at quarterback. Going to give straight ahead, just a little dive play. That's going to be good for yardage out to about the 19. And on the carry is going to be number 33 or 35. Well, it is 33. We don't have a 33 on our roster, so I'm not sure who carried there from the running back spot. Second down at about 8 to go for the Comets. Back to pass. Rebelke throwing for Lindahl through his hands and incomplete. Joey Holmberg out there doing the coverage duty. Holmberg and Lindahl are going to know each other pretty well by the time this little 2-game series is over. Those two had a lot of one-on-ones up in St. Paul last year, and a lot of them here today, Brownie.
That's right. They're going right at it, and I think we got the side of Holmberg's favor here today.
Checks over that Westmar defense. We got 7:31 to go third quarter. 50-0 Westmar. This has never really been a matchup at all today. Back to pass. Rebelke got some time. Throws over. Whoa, what a hit by Kurt Westhoff as he leveled Tim Schiller, who is listed as a defensive back. In fact, has been playing in the secondary. They've got so few of players, they're having to send several of them both ways. And boy, that was the hit of the game, Brownie.
That's right, and that's vintage Westhoff. We've seen that so much, and I was kind of looking the other way. I wasn't looking right at the play. I was watching another receiver, but boy, you could hear that.
Gained only 3 yards, and it was a tough 3 yards. Just ask Tim Schiller. Fourth down, still about 6 needed for the first down, 5 needed for the first down, and Rebelke going to be back there to punt. Had one blocked earlier. Well, not Rebelke. Dan Wolf punts this one. It's going to go out of bounds. No return, and Westmar takes over at their own 48-yard line. Right, and it's Rob White here to the left side. Hill and Pierce in the backfield. Ants are going to get a Hill with a big opening, 50, 45, 40, and another first down to about the 37-yard line. It's going to be good for another 15-16 of the Gallup. Hill at 116 at the half, and he's going to be up there. Lost the national lead in rushing last week to Estrada from Doane, and I think they're working on getting him back on top. There's a fumble, missed handoff from Hancher to Hill, and it's recovered by the Comets. Falling on it is going to be number 45 of the Comets, and we don't have one of those on our roster either. So some kids, I guess, that were not listed in the original program. And so it's going to be the Comets football. I think that's Westmar's first turnover today, isn't it, Brownie?
Yeah, it's really the first mistake of any sort. Yeah, turnover, other than the penalties. Why they've played almost flawless.
Rebelke's got him set down. Looking at about 64 yards of real estate. Westhoff and Freddie Anderson showing blitz and now backing out of there, and the quarterback, Rebelke, wants to take a timeout. At a 1st and 10, and Rebelke didn't like what he saw out of the Westmar defense, so after a timeout and a conference with his coach, Tom Cross, he's back in here, throws the swing out here, complete to Brad Melsauce, and Melsauce going to go out of bounds in Westmar real estate at about the 49-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Going to be good for about 15, 16 yards. Well, 14 yards. They remark it on the Concordia 49-yard line. Hockey going to give him the double reverse, and now a pitch back. Downfield, nobody even in the vicinity. And that one didn't ever materialize very smoothly, and it just was a bust from the very beginning. Now it's 2nd down and 10 from their own 49. Don't forget the Eagle Eager backers meetings on Monday during the noon hour. You're all welcome to come down and talk to Coach Smazel and his staff and see game films. 6:06 to go, third quarter. It's 50-0 Westmar. Got Melsauce in motion to the right, back to pass. Rebelke rolling right, rolling. Now throws one into the ground just to waste it away. Poor receiver still took a pop from Seeloff after the play was over, and it's 3rd down and 10 coming up. Capacity homecoming crowd during the halftime break, and as we've moved into the third quarter, this thing just has been so methodical in its movement because of all the penalties. Oh, another big hit, incomplete pass, and Frenchie Holmberg just leveled the receiver. What a hit by Frenchie, and that kid's still down.
He's trying to figure out up from down, I'm sure, after that shot.
That's the thing about this game, Brownie. It's been such a mismatch, but both teams have lost players in this ball game. Concordia, it's not so surprising when you get hammered and physically beat like the Comets are today. That's what's going to happen to you. But Westmar's lost some kid. Hobart very likely is going to be done for a big share of the rest of the season. He's got the knee injury, and it'll be scoping time, I guess, to examine how serious that problem is. Joey Holmberg got a shoulder hurt. He's moving kind of slow yet. I think Kelly McClintock got banged up a little bit in this game, too. course, he's no longer a factor because he's on the sidelines watching for the rest of the day, but there's some people that certainly have been banged up in this game for the blue and silver. 4th and 10, and they're back to punt. Wolf going to hammer this one off the side of the foot and going to take a bit of a favorable Westmar roll back upfield. And finally, we'll be down at about the 33-yard line. That'll be a punt of about 18 yards. Hancher going to give it to Charles Hill. Hill bounces out of there, gets spun around the wrong direction, almost started running the wrong way, and ends up losing a couple of yards out of it. Now they got Mark McLeod with an ice pack on his shoulders down there, too. I believe it's McLeod. So there's another defensive guy that, those defensive end that we really haven't had injury problems at this year. There's just one more that's kind of banged up, and see him kind of attending to someone down here again on the sideline. So it's been a day that's been some physical blows dished out both ways.
That's right. We hope none of them are serious. I think McLeod has been walking around. I'm sure he's took a shot on the neck or something and just going to take it easy.
There's a give and a little quick opener, and there's Pierce to the 50, 45, 40. You can kiss him goodbye. He's got sprinter speed. He's going to go the route. 71 yards. Kelvin Pierce on a touchdown jaunt. His longest of his career, his second touchdown today, and of course the 4th of his career here.
Saw the speed again we like to see from him, and he ran away from him.
Broke a tackle to get sprung for good. He had a guy one-on-one out there, and he just leaped over his dive. And a long one for Kelvin Pierce. And Westmar goes up 56-0 on a record-setting offensive day. Make that 5 touchdowns for the season now for Kelvin Pierce. Morey on here to try the PAT. Morey has hit on 5 of 5 attempts here, or 6 of 6 attempts. This will tie the school record for a single game if he connects on this one. The day they got 49 was the other record back in 1979 against USD Springfield. This one is up, and this one's good. He's 7 for 7, tying the school record. Kickoff by McPartland, end over end. Got to be taken by Rogers at the 9, 10, 15, looking for the seam, up over the 20, down to the 25, down to about the 30-yard line. And again, a couple of people square off. Westy doing the jumping jacks to account for all of the points. He's going to be ready for the Marines when today's over.
Well, he sure is. And I know Buena Vista one year, theirs did push-ups, so I think we'll have to move him up here. It could be a long day doing push-ups.
Well, they were also working on Wayne Utek on the sidelines, too, with some ice pack. Westhoff had the ice on a neck, but he's back in there when the defense is called. He's going to be right there. Phil Rogers trying to find a place to go, and he's going to go down at about the 22-yard line. Westhoff back there to make the hit. Boy, it's going to be tough to pick out a District 15 Player of the Week out of this game for Westmar. They've got a lot of kids that have excelled here today, and it's going to be a lot of candidates.
Yeah, you normally look to offense to start with, and of course we got a couple backs piling up some big yards here, and that'd be where we'd have to start offensively and defensively. Boy, everybody's doing the job.
Quarter, 57-0 Westmar. Tacked on a couple of more touchdowns this quarter. Second down at about 12 to go. Still have basically the #1 defense in there. I think Coach Mesa wants the shutout. Airing it out. Going downfield for Lindahl, and not even close. Joey Holmberg again, stride for stride. Third down at about 12 to go now for the Comets. Tell you, those old secondary people are walking slower and slower. They have done a day's work out here today. Back to pass. Lindahl fires over the middle, tipped and broken up by Frenchie Holmberg. Pass intended for number 20, Kevin Meyer. Another good hit there by Frenchie Holmberg. Well timed, Ronnie.
That's right. Perfect timing. He knows it. He's happy about it. Well, I'd like to keep him sharp here, even though the game's out of hand. They still don't want to make mental mistakes.
Well, I think Concordia has only had about 3 first downs without the aid of a penalty today, and probably less than 10 for the game. Safford going to chase this one downfield. Nice sailing punt, and he'll recover it inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line. That's about the longest stretch of time we've gone without a penalty being thrown, Browning.
That's right. It's about time. I guess maybe the both teams have resigned to the fact what's going to be the outcome of this game and just play football.
49-yard punt. Chris Hancher at quarterback. Charles Hill's out of there right now. There's the give to Kelvin Pierce up the middle. No, check it, Bolden. Vernon Bolden getting the carry. Got Bolden in the lineup, and also back there in the backfield for Westmar is Tim Bartle. Bartle out of Rippey, Iowa. He's a sophomore. Line in there, though. Fowler on the left-hand tackle spot. That's the only change. Here's a give up the middle to Bolden again. Vernon Bolden, who scored a touchdown in the first half, is going to carry out over the 30 to about the 33-yard line. There's still some good hits going on, Bronny, out there. So the intensity level from a defensive standpoint hasn't quit. Concordia is playing with a little pride right now. They've had their pride wounded here this afternoon.
That's right, and it's sometimes you get a little individual things you don't want to. You want to perform well and keep your position sound, so they're going to do as best they can.
Here's the option. Hancher going to turn it upfield. He'll go down at about the, we can pick the yard line out, 35-yard line. And it's going to bring up apparently a fumble, and apparently recovered by Concordia. Shook Hancher loose from the football, and the Comets have forced the second turnover out of Westmar today. Westmar football being brought to you today by the leader, the Lamar's Beauty College, Plymouth Plumbing and Heating, Augie's, Susie's Deli, Hopkins Drug, Stevens Cleaners, Ben Franklin, Mount Drug, JCPenney, V&H Tire, Behind the Eight Ball, and First National Bank. Their quarterback, he's had a rough afternoon, certainly not piling up very impressive stats here today. Back to pass, now rolling left. He's out of the pocket immediately. No pass rush really to force him out. Over the middle, Lindo makes a sliding catch at the 10-yard line. That was a broken pattern. He just kept moving to an open area. And he's wore Joey down so much running him around back there today. Joey just couldn't stay with him anymore.
That's right, and when the quarterback leaves the pocket and rolls the other way, everything breaks down and changes. Receivers are on their own, and it's tough to defend back there then.
57-0, and Concordia's down there threatening again. Remember, they had 4 cracks from the 2-yard line and didn't get it in just before halftime. They've had some shots from in Westmar territory, and this again giving them another good opportunity. See the ambulance pulling over there on the Concordia side, so maybe they got somebody kind of wounded over there. There have been some hits dished out today, no question about it. Back to pass for Belke, and he won't get it anyway. Get a chance to look over a receiver. Chad Shook in there, the freshman out of Denison, to make the tackle back at the 18-yard line. Loss of 8.
By number 72, Chad Shook for a loss.
Yards to go. Ball back on the 18 now. For Belke, back to pass. Actually going to be an advantage for him. Gives him more territory to throw to. Pass intended for Lindo, incomplete. Got a minute 2 left to go in the third quarter. 57-0. Westmar on top, and a chance to preserve the shutout yet. Third down and 18 coming up. Going to slide Rogers up into a slot, a single back. Call it the ace backfield with a lone back, and now he's in motion off to the right side. No backs in there helping out. Flags going down all over the place over the middle. He's got Rogers open for the touchdown, but I think this one's coming back, Brownie. Might be an illegal formation. I think they maybe had too many people up on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you've got to have your 3 backs either line up in a slot position or a deep back, and I think they probably didn't have it. It'll be a procedure. Well, we guessed wrong there, but either way,
against the Comets,
you
we had
bet.
that much right.
Yeah, we had that one down.
Westmar was off sides of the play, so we'll redo the thing and take the touchdown off. That all came for the better for Westmar. Rebelke on a draw play, and again he gives to this number 33, who we don't have anybody to match up with on our roster. And he'll go down after about a yard gain, so it's going to be 4th down and goal, actually 4th and goal from the 18-yard line. Next week, and then Northwestern on the agenda 2 weeks from today. And again, no backs behind the quarterback. His lone back, he sends out in motion. There comes the rush. Nobody to protect him. He's in no man's land. Sacked back at the 39-yard line on 4th down by Patrick Walton. And it's going to be a turnover to Westmar on downs. And again, the defense stiffens and holds, and the goose eggs preserved. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. 57-0 Westmar. We go to the final 15 minutes. Quarter with Westmar taking over on downs at their own 38-yard line. Marcus Hancher on the keeper, going to follow Bolden up the field and go out over the 45 about the 46-yard line. Going to pick up about 5 or 6 on the play. Boy, you just got to keep scratching your head and kind of amazement over this Concordia football team. They lost to Colorado College 28-10. That's 28 points, the most they've given up till Westmar scores the 57 today. They lost to Luther 10-7 on a last-second field goal. They beat Mariantha 36-6, beat Dr. Martin Luther last week 34-16, throwing for over 400 yards. And Hancher going to give to Bolden. Or no, check it. Carry going to be made instead by Tim Bartle. And Bartle goes out across the 50 into Concordia territory to the 48. Today, anyway, Brownie, and I know enough about football to know that some days you have and some days you don't, but this is not a very good Concordia football team today.
No, I just haven't seen any, even the good passer, just haven't seen any continuity in the offense and poorly throwing passes, and it's hard to imagine how they've done so well.
Out of the wishbone, going to give to Bolden, and Bolden carries to about the 46-yard line. The best player on the field I think they have is number 83, the receiver, Lindell. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I think so, and they did have some big offensive linemen. I still no signs of any running game whatsoever, and yeah, it sure surprises me the record they came in here with, and I guess they're a losing team, but they're down, Westmar's up, a lot of combinations I guess play in that, but they're sure not their day to day.
I think 57-0 is pretty legitimate. Westmar is that much better football team as they're still mowing them down with their second stringers. Hancher on the keeper inside the 45, still on the 40, and going to carry it about the 38-yard line, close to a first down on that second and third effort. 13-13 to go in this ball game. 57-0 Westmar.
On the 37-yard line.
Action being brought to you today by Vollmer's Shoes, by TJ's Antiques, Sousa Mill Standard, the Lamar Savings Bank, Lamar's Truck Haven Cafe, Gertis Pharmacy, Adler's, Williams & Company, Sweet 16 Lanes, Neats & Grubs, Custom Interiors, Evans Clothing, and Godfather Pizza. Hancher got him set down on the wishbone. Chance for everybody to play here on homecoming afternoon, showcasing some of the young kids. Pitch out to Bartle. Bartle to the 35 to about the 30. And Bartle goes for about 7 or 8 on the play. Short of the 30, going to mark it on about the 31-yard line. Again, Hill with 3 touchdowns today. Pierce with a couple of touchdowns. McClintock with a couple of touchdowns. Bolden has a touchdown. All of them have been on the ground so far today. And Westmar's going to be up there in the 300 to 400 category in rushing today, maybe at the rate, or total offense, I should say, today. The way they've moved the football, they haven't really had to throw the ball a whole lot today, Brownie.
No, there's been no need to. They controlled the line of scrimmage and therefore controlled the running game, and have just been so successful with it. They just thrown on a few occasions. I don't remember any bombs or any long pass attempts, so it's been a successful offense for them.
I think 2 for 6 is Westmar's passing totals for the day. Second down and about 9 to go. We had a penalty on the play, and Westmar, so tack that on to their already 100-plus penalty yardage for the day. Hancher, quick pitch, going to get out to Bolden, breaks the tackle, tripped him up though. And he'll dive inside the 35, about the 34-yard line. Nice play there from the secondary for Concordia by Dan Bond, coming up there and tripping up Bolden just enough to drop him.
Bolden's the type of back that kind of like we talked about a few weeks ago with Pierce, is you just kind of wait for him to break something. He's got that type of ability, and of course we saw Pierce finally get her cut loose today and make some of the big breakaway runs that we expect from him, and Bolden's the same type of runner.
Pierce has a 71-yarder today, and I believe that's one of the longer runs from scrimmage for Westmar this year. Rolling to the left, Hancher takes a look. Still looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck it under and run. He'll be inside the 30, down about the 28-yard line. Won't be enough for the first down, and they're looking at 4th down at a yard or 2 yet for the first down yardage.
5-yard gain brings up 4th down and a big one.
Fourth down at a yard, they're going for it. Just to add a little insult to injury. Hancher's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown is going to go in for the score. A little cutback run. Marcus Hancher with his first career touchdown run.
29-yard run for Marcus Hancher, number 2.
Well, his second touchdown, right? He did that one down in Midland, I guess, in the other game that he quarterbacked. And just tack on some more. 63-0. 10:18 left to go in the ball game.
I guess that's Marcus Hancher's ability there. He had the big passing game, but I look at him more as basically another running back in the backfield, and that's what he did there. Boy, he's quick and really got upfield.
Yeah, he transferred in from Lenore Ryan in North Carolina. Kick is good by Morey. That's a new school record. 8 PATs on the day. 64-0. 10:18 left to go. School record offensively every way you look at it. And Hancher adds his name to the totals of those that have scored today. Now, Randy Schmeisel's record's going to stay unblemished on homecoming. He thinks it's going to be 8 out of 8 for him since his high school coaching days. He thinks homecoming is a very important game for your program because it's the day you showcase your program for the alums. And boy, he's doing a pretty good job of showcasing it today, getting a chance to play his young kids of the future. Showed off his starters in big fashion. Returned by Rogers out of the 30, out of the 40 to the 42. Guess there's any bit of a concern to this point outside all the penalty yardage today. It's the fact that this kickoff return defense has been pretty shaky today.
That's right. They've given a lot of little seam get opened up there, and Rogers just about put it through. And I guess maybe that's a little mental letdown. And the kickoff team has been a little out of control. Some of the 4 guys diving at the guy and missing him, and they gotta run down there under control to take on that ball carrier. So that's something they'll have to work on. They got 2 weeks to do it.
Bill Rogers still down on the play, and they're tending to an ankle, it looks like. So, boy, Concordia is going to limp out of here with a lot of people just battered and bruised. Down, and Concordia, who's had chances to score today, but just can't seem to get it into the end zone. They just seem to have all sorts of misfortune besetting them today. A lot of it's just a fired-up Westmar football team on a homecoming. Pass out to Lindo, complete to about the Westmar the Concordia 46-yard line. West puts the hit on him. Westoff and Joey Holmberg there. I mean, one simple reason, the number 1 defense is basically still on there intact. They want the shutout, Brownie.
Yeah, I think so at this point, and we've seen the bend and don't break when Concordia's gotten down to the 10. Boy, they have really put on the steam and just blown them back away and turned the points off. So yeah, that's defenses. They take pride in that.
Well, we've seen Westoff kind of have some ice on a sore spot, and UTEC, they've both been in there playing. See UTEC coming out here now. There's a quick pass out here on the flat to Craig Dobbins. Flanker out of Anderson, Indiana, and Joey Holmberg going to put the crunch on him as he's going to go down at about the 46-yard line in Westmar real estate. It's going to be enough to move the sticks for a first down. 9:28 to go in this ball game. 64-0. Westmar having a big afternoon here before what was once a capacity crowd for homecoming. You and I, Bronny, may be the only ones left here at the stadium by the time this one's over.
Well, I don't know. I got a 6 o'clock banquet to go to, Denny, so if this lasts too long, I'll just leave you alone. But my wife will be mad at me then.
Wouldn't want that.
No.
She gives up your time for us on Saturday. We appreciate that. Back to pass. Rebelkian, down he goes. Swarmed under again. Westoff is the first there. Steve Utesh was in there. I was under the understanding Steve Utesh wouldn't be playing today. He's been kind of banged and bruised in practice this week, but he was in there to see a little action and got a sack.
Utesh, number 16.
Starting at 48-yard line, looking at second down at about 17 to go. Little quick out. Lindo, boy, did they give him a pad. To the 50, to the 45. And down right there. Randy Schmeisel was talking about that to us after Chalk Talk this morning. You got the corner still playing a little soft. Seeloff, I guess, hasn't learned to really come up and play that hard corner like Joey Holmberg on the other side with his experience. He just doesn't have the confidence, I guess, that he won't be able to prevent him from getting behind him. So he does give up the short yardage, but he hasn't got beat long yet this year.
Oh, that's right, and that's one key. It's that fact that makes it hard to come up and play tough, because you can slip or get beat on a pattern and get beat deep, and they don't want that. They'll come with experience.
Third down at about 9 to go for the Comets. Say getting beat like they are, it's 4 down territory. There's some early movement up front, and they're going to give them 5. I believe Utesh maybe jumped just a little bit early up there. Well, Tom Cross, in his first year as head coach at Concordia, probably not going to remember a longer day in his coaching career than this one's turning out to be. He was the offensive coordinator last year, and he moved up to the head coaching ranks. Rebelke back to pass. Throws a nice one in there in the middle of a crowd to Kevin Meyer. Meyer going to make the catch inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. He took another pretty good pop. Eagle secondaries really put some licks on today, Brownie.
They sure have. They've made them pay for every catch they got, and even the one over here in the flat. Holmberg had a little out, but he took him down hard, and they're displaying heads-up defense.
I think everybody's going to stick this one out to the end. Ought to get some free ham and cheese after the game at the concession stand. Free Coke or something. 7:10 to go in this ball game. 64-0. Westmar having a big afternoon on homecoming day. There's Phil Rogers, who went out hurt a little bit ago, so he's all right. He's going to carry inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
It's got to be one of their longest carries or rushes of the game, I think, there.
Probably one of their longest possessions of the afternoon, too.
Yeah, they had a couple earned first downs. I think they only had 3 up till this drive that weren't via penalty, so they're kind of getting a little something going.
You come off a game like this and say, it was just one of those days, let's forget it ever happened, gentlemen. The sun will rise tomorrow, let's go on from here. Or is this one that just humiliates you so bad you have trouble recovering from it?
Oh, I think they can recover from it. Depends how many times it's happened to you, too. I know some of our years why it got to be a weekly occurrence at times, and you get a little used to it, unfortunately.
Second down and short yardage. They go back to pass, and the sack is going to make it 3rd and long now, as Rebelke is going to be sacked. This might even be in the neighborhood of some record sack totals for Westmar, too. I think there's several records we're going to have to look up when this one's over, because this is a record-shattering day for Westmar's football team on both sides of the football. Randy Smazel's got to be pretty proud of the gang. 5:51 to go. He made them be hungry again this week in practice. I think they went above and beyond the call today. Concordia team just ran into a team that was kind of destined to get back on track to where they thought they were 2 weeks ago before being defeated by Dana and Doane. Going into the week off, they are healing themselves in a big way here today. 3rd down and 9. Back to pass, taking a look. Walton nearly gets the sack. Now they do make the completion out in the flat. And again, it's the 33, who we don't have an identity on, and that's going to be good for, looks like another first down, depending on where they spot it, but I think they got another first down on that. That was a nice play there by Rebelke. We saw his coolness under fire.
That's right, and a little athletic talent there. He's down on the field. He doesn't look quite so big, but I was down close on the sideline over there just before halftime, and he's a big kid and looks strong and showed it there. He had someone hanging on him and did get a pass off under control.
Yeah, in the NFL, that'd probably been in the grasp of sack.
Yeah.
Walton had a wrap on him, but he didn't go down, and he had the arm free, and he tossed it downfield to his kind of his safety valve. That's where the backs go out in the flat for. It's kind of someone to dump it off to if you can't get a receiver. There's the give up the middle to Rogers. Rogers inside the 15 to near the 10.
Rogers on the carry.
That'll be good for about 5 more. Clock running now on this drive. They're keeping it basically on the ground. They're completing passes. 4:44 left to go in the ball game. 64-0. Westmar setting a new probably a total offensive record. You'll know when the totals are running up after the game. A total point record for sure. That was shattered here today. 49, the previous mark, set in 1979 by Donnie Colston, Kenny Muldrow, Angelo James, and that bunch. Down goes the quarterback again. Here's a sack by number 22 for Westmar. Kids, of course, we haven't had a chance to call much. That's Pat Ostermeyer right there. He's from Akron, Westfield. Saw his ex-teammates playing last night at the high school game against Galen Catholic. In this ball game, 3rd down at about 16 to go. Pro set, Rebelke dropping back. Over the middle, intercepted by Freddie Anderson to the 10 to the 15. Coming out across the 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, still on his feet, out over the 50, down at about the 49-yard line. Defense comes up with another big play, Brownie, to keep that shutout up there.
That's right. That's a big one for this defense. A lot of the starters are on the sideline who are saying, hey, fellas, the second stringers, don't give them any points. And that stopped it and shut it off right there.
Freddie Anderson, a first career interception. There's another youngster out of Wyandotte, New York. Comes from that good Wyandottes program. The Eagles have, I think, 4 kids out of that program on the Brooklyn side of New York. He's a sophomore, destined to be a pretty good one. He just needs playing time right now. He's kind of green, but he's got some raw talent. He just stepped into the front of the pass pattern there and made the interception. There's Bolden, stiff arm, 40, 35, run off the field. And he'll be inside the 35, down at about 32-yard lines where they're going to call him out. So another big gain. Bolden going to pick up about 16 on that carry. Vernon Bolden, I think they'd like to get him another touchdown here and get up there into the 70s. I think this is going to send a message out, Ronnie, that this is a football team that's been better than the one that we've seen the last 2 weeks.
That's right. And, you know, we'll give credit to the teams they played, especially Dana. That's a good ball club, and they're having a big season. But you're right. There's a lot of potential here. They've made some mistakes, big mistakes, and critical games, and now they're just playing good, sound football and just putting points on the board.
Chad Samich is back in there at quarterback, incidentally. Bolden on the quick pitch that Kelvin Pierce has used so much in the varsity role, and Bolden going to be run out of the 30, got about a yard or 2 on the play, down to the 2:57 mark. Again, a week off next week. That's going to be needed. There's some people that are banged up after this ball game, and they, of course, have been playing hurt most of the year anyway in some various spots, so maybe get some of these bruises healed up, head into that big game with Northwestern in 2 weeks up in Orange City, and be ready to really play some hard-nosed football against some pretty good football teams here for the rest of the season. There's a give-off tackle to Heath Fitzsimmons, and Fitzsimmons going to carry inside the 25, about the 23-yard line. Close to another first down. Looks like about a yard or 2 short yet.
5-yard gain for Heath. 24 yards.
Going to send Tony Smith out of here wide to the right side. Out of the wishbone. Back to pass. Nope, check it. Pitch out. Bolden to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Boy, he went down the sideline and seal off the left, or seal off Concordia's right side. Anybody out there to even really option. It didn't look like. The pitch back, and Bolden went in untouched down the sideline.
Worked out almost like a sweep, really, but that's fun to see. You got Vernon some more yards. These guys are going to start expecting 100 yards for every back. He's a good one. We'll see a lot more of him.
24-yard gallop, I believe, there for Vernon Bolden, his second touchdown of the day. Joining McClintock, Hill, and Pierce as multiple touchdown performances today. Hill has 3. Pierce has a couple. McClintock 2. Now Bolden has 2. And Westmar goes up 70-0. Minute 47 to go in the ball game. Morey tries to stay perfect in the afternoon, 9 for 9, and he will. That also continues to push his school record out there, another echelon. And 71-0 your tally here at Lamar's Community Stadium. Now McPartland got her teed up on the left hash mark and kicks it off end over end. This one again going to be windswept and held up. Going to be gathered in at about the 28. This time by Sean Flandrick, who's a linebacker by trade out of Minneapolis. And a cloud of dust goes down at about the 28-yard line. I don't think he'll ever make anybody forget about the running backs.
It's 9 PATs for Mark Morey.
Minute 4. This game really messed up a lot of people's plans. I know the Lamar's Community High School band marched at halftime. Some football players were performing in that. They had to leave to go to Carroll Kemper, and they were late getting out of town because of the length of the first half. There's a give-off tackle for about 3 yards. Again, we apologize. We don't have a number on or a name for this number 33. Somebody we don't have on our roster, so we'll keep identifying him as simply number 33. No radio coverage from the Twin Cities there either, so usually that's who we look to for help for identifying unidentifiable players. So no help that way. Nobody really around that can give us a clue as to who 33 is here this afternoon. He's really played basically the rest of the half, or the whole second half, that running back spot. And believe it or not, we're now into the last minute of this ball game. As long as it's been. And there's a give again to 33, and he's out over the 35, about the 36-yard line. Good for about 3 more. And of course, as you mentioned, Bronny, you got the 6 o'clock banquet to kind of finish up this first big day of the 2-day weekend for the homecoming festivities on campus. And I think that's why we've lost so much of the crowd. Those folks are busy getting ready and preparing for the big banquet, the alumni banquet. So
well, they saw a lot of football in the first half. Normally, you would hope for that many points in a game. So they are all saw the real fireworks.
23 seconds. Could be the last play of the ball game unless Concordia wants to hustle up and get something else on there. Give up the middle. Good for another couple of yards. And down to the 14-second mark. I don't think Dana is going to want to, Concordia is going to want to stop this thing to prolong this rather long afternoon already. They got a long ride back to the Twin Cities yet today. That's going to be it. Record-setting homecoming victory, 71-0. Charles Hill with 3 touchdowns. Kelly McClintock with 2. Kelvin Pierce with 2. Vernon Bolden with 2 here this afternoon. And Westmar just dominated this football game in just every aspect, Browning.
Oh, no question about it. The only weak link maybe was some of the unnecessarily penalties they had, but they just came right out and just took it to them. Just dominant on all aspects during the whole game. Never really any letdowns, and just an impressive victory for Westmar. And boy, it's a great setup for 2 weeks from now. And they got a week to rest and heal up and prepare for Northwestern. And this is perfect. This is just what they needed.
Appreciate you taking some time off from your harvesting schedule here and a gorgeous afternoon to watch homecoming football and see some old friends here on kind of the reunion of alumni and homecoming afternoon. And we do appreciate you taking time out from your busy schedule to give us another helping hand here this Saturday.
Sure enjoyed it. It was a great game to watch.
Well, we might continue down our list on people that bring you Eagle football on Cable Channel 20. Arnold Motor Supply, Steel Ford, Schuster Grain, Wells Blue Bunny, Country Kitchen, Reardon Auto, Byrne Anderson Equipment, Newbold Chevrolet, Cruise and Cruise CPA, Sod's Bar and Grill.